Now chapter 2 is introduced. Again, the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And now God takes him out to the future. And it shall come to pass in the last days, or in the latter days, that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it. So Isaiah goes from the dark, bleak history, and now he jumps forward to a day yet future when Jesus Christ, the Messiah, comes and establishes the kingdom. And the Jews, as the scripture said, will look upon him whom they have pierced. And they will recognize him, and they will weep over him. Weep over their national blindness and their failure to recognize that he was their Messiah. And he will establish his kingdom there on the top of the mountains in Jerusalem. Traditionally, it is felt that the top of Mount Zion will be the place of the throne of Jesus Christ in the kingdom age. And this is going ahead now to the kingdom age. All nations shall flow unto it, and many people shall go and say, "Come, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he shall teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem." So the Bible tells us in other passages that the kings of the earth will come to Jerusalem to offer their gifts unto the Lord, and to just have celebrations there. Now, who are the kings of the earth that are referred to here? Well, you're looking at King Charles. In Revelation chapter 1, as he speaks of Jesus Christ, he said, "Unto him who loved us, and gave himself for us, and hath made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign with him on the earth." To the church he said, "He that overcometh will I grant that he shall sit with me on the throne of my kingdom, even as I have sat down at the throne of my Father's kingdom, and they shall rule over the earth with a rod of iron." And then in Revelation chapter 5, as the Lamb takes the scroll out of the right hand of him who is sitting upon the throne, when the prayers of the saints are offered before the throne of God, the golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints, they sang a new song, saying, "Worthy is the Lamb to take the scroll and loose the seals, for he was slain, and he has redeemed us by his blood out of all of the nations, tribes, tongues, and people, and hath made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign with him upon the earth." So actually it's talking about you when it says, "Come, let's go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths." Won't it be exciting to go to Jerusalem and just sit down and let Jesus teach us for a while? No, that sounds so exciting to me. Just to sit there and to listen to the Lord expound the love and the grace and the goodness of God unto us. The law of the Lord. He will teach us of his ways. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks, and nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. O house of Jacob, come, let us walk in the light of the Lord. Looking forward to that glorious day when Jesus is reigning and the military budgets are used for agricultural development, beating their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. But a day is coming when no one is going to have to fear war anymore. You're not going to have to fear mass destruction. You're not going to have to fear the exotic poison gases. They'll study war no more. The war colleges will all be closed. And the Lord will reign. Therefore, now this is the blessing that's going to come, but before the blessing can come, there's going to be some rough times. Therefore, thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east, and soothsayers are like the Philistines, and they please themselves in the children of strangers. Their land also is full of silver and gold, neither is there any end of their treasures. Their land also is full of horses, neither any end of their chariots. Their land also is full of idols, and they worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. So the idea of man worshiping and serving the creature more than the Creator is brought up here. Men worshiping the works of their own hands more than the Creator. What an apt description of humanism. And really, the materialism of the present day, where man has placed his value upon the material objects, the work of his own hands, rather than upon the Lord. God speaks of this time. And the mean man bows down, and the great man humbles himself. Therefore forgive them not. Enter into the rock. Hide thee in the dust, for fear of the Lord, for the glory of his majesty. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of the Lord of hosts shall come upon every one that is proud and lofty, and every one that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. Now, this could very well be referring to the time after the exodus of the church. For when the church makes its exodus out of the world, it's going to be a time of great world prosperity. For a time. At the beginning of the reign of the man of sin, people are going to be singing, happy days are here again. Because this man is going to come in with a program of peace and of economic prosperity. And they will move in to take the wealth of the church that has departed. Now they're going to have these buildings, my house, my car. They can have it all, you know. And suddenly you're going to have all of this extra thrown in to the whole economy. There'll be a lot of empty houses for people to move into. People can grab a second car. And they're going to really get into a real materialistic kick because of all of these things that have been left. But then, after 3.5 years, then God is going to bring down the proud. God is going to begin to smite the earth. The day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty, and upon every one that is lifted up, and they will be brought low. Upon all the cedars of Lebanon, and those that are high and lifted up, and upon the oaks of Bashan, and upon all the high mountains, upon the hills that are lifted up, and upon every high tower, upon every fenced wall, upon all the ships of Tarshish, upon the pleasant pictures. The loftiness of man shall be bowed down, the haughtiness of men shall be made low, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day, and the idols he shall utterly abolish. And they shall go into the holes in the rocks and into the caves of the earth for fear of the Lord. Remember in Revelation, in the 6th seal, it said, and they cried unto the rocks and mountains, fall on us and hide us from the face of the Lamb. For the day of his wrath has come, and who shall be able to stand?